Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're having an amazing day. We're taking a look here at Bitcoin Cash, seeing what's going on, helping you understand best practice and the big picture. Of course, we're going to redraw some Fibonacci retracement levels and just reaffirm and acknowledge some previous support and resistance levels. So again, previously here, 264 is a support level. Now that we've broken through that as a previous resistance. So in this case here, we can expect 264 to continue to hold. We've seen it hold so far so good, but we want to double check and verify that is the case here because there's a lot of real estate down here for those who want to short to the bottom, right? But is it even going to happen? That's the question I get a lot. So we'll find out here and much more. If you're new to the channel, not a financial advisor, love to teach people to trade. I hope you can learn something here today. Of course, if you want to become a better trader, cryptocash.tech is a website linked down below. Also, be sure to check out our exclusive event here with BingX. Got a partnership with them here, and this is available only until July 31st. So just make sure you take advantage of that nice little deposit bonus and USDT bonus based on trading volume. And all you got to do is use the link down below to register. The reason why we offer this is for our community members. They have got hit pretty hard recently with the KYC from KuCoin, Bybit, and a few others as well. Honestly, there's kind of a large amount of different exchanges going KYC this year, and there's no KYC or VPN requirement for BingX. Really awesome stuff. Be sure to check that out. So here's what we want to talk about, though. Is I kind of want to open up here. Is kind of let's talk about best and worst case scenario. So worst case scenario, when the price continues to diverge, right, and we get that breakdown below that 246 range, we're gonna have to continue to retesting that level to be able to break down through it. Okay, so we'll look here today. I think we have retested a few times, but the bottom line is we have a MACD divergence here on the daily, kind of telling us that the overall momentum shift is down. Okay, now again, we see this kind of pattern here too, where the price action is coming up, kind of working itself into an ascending or correction, descending type of wedge pattern. Since it derived from the bottom though, it's more likely to break up than it is down. Okay, so keep in mind, a break up would make a lot more sense, or breakout, if you will, than breaking down. The only thing that, of course, is somewhat of a catalyst here, and again, this isn't exactly aligned with Bitcoin, but the fact that Bitcoin is due for a correction to the downside would cause this to continue to break lower. So be mindful of that. That's another reason why I haven't opened a ton of long positions right now. So I'm waiting for Bitcoin to make up its mind. It feels like it continues to reject out at that same specific level, and it does look like it wants to break down versus breaking out. Okay, so again, that's kind of part of my hesitation here. I'm hoping that we can catch some nice longs, of course, but we got to wait for Bitcoin to kind of make a move first. Okay, and Bitcoin dominance is too high. I know we're not here for Bitcoin, but it makes a big difference to understand that. So keep that in mind. We've also seen stochastics kind of averaging itself out down here, which does imply that we should see a breakout to the upside soon. Again, I think more potential for a break up than a break down based on its overall pattern that we're seeing here form. You can see these lower highs and, of course, parallel lows for the most part, giving us an indication that a break up would make more sense. Now, you could argue that the price should break down because it's retesting this level multiple times, right? And that's true. In a lot of cases, that is. But when you come from the downside there, this kind of pattern has more likelihood to break up than down because it's kind of one of those fake out patterns. Again, something to kind of think about. Let's look at the 4 hour and kind of see what's going on. Let's quickly acknowledge the weekly high, open, low, close. We can see the 1 week low is about 248. Okay, so we could see a liquidation hunt down to that level before the price jumps up again. It would make sense considering we are kind of trending downwards here, as you can kind of see this descending trend until we break up. So the first breakout is essentially the key kind of that we want to look out for, right? And it would make sense, of course, for the price to come back down and to do one of these first. We will see, of course, but generally speaking, we got this resistance zone here at about 298 to 300. So 300 to 303 would be a rejection zone here initially if the price comes up. If the price comes down, we should expect to bounce off 248.5 and then up. Okay, that's kind of what we're expecting there. Just again, based on previous highs, open, lows, and closes. These are just very common places for liquidity to occur, right? So if you're ever surprised by a candle wick that goes really far in one direction and turns itself around, it's because they're just kind of searching for that previous open or close. All right, so again, just something to kind of think about there. That being said, we're on the 4 hour here. Let's go ahead and summarize here on the fact that we are breaking above 50 on the R side. That's not super definitive. It's kind of been averaging itself out there pretty well. So I'm not super convinced that that's a positive sign. We do have somewhat of a consolation here with a MACD convergence here, of course. A lot of coins are converging here today just based on that natural slow weekend volume and Bitcoin kind of going sideways, and a lot of alts are trying to break out, but not really doing so just yet. So this is kind of a false positive here to me. I'm not really super convinced that we're going to break up because of it, but it is, again, a good retest here. We can see a higher high tentatively for the moment on the hourly. What we want to acknowledge here on the hourly would be a few key factors here. So the thing I like to look at on the hourly would be TD sequential. We're not really seeing any consistency here in either direction, so I wouldn't worry too much about that. We can also see, of course, with each mobile cloud, which is typically a good indicator here, that we are officially above the cloud, at least with the last 3 hours, but right now we're kind of retesting it. So again, it would make more sense for the price to come down here to this level and then to give us a bounce. Okay, so to me, I'd much rather get in at the low to mid 260s than the upper 270s range. Okay, just feels like we're going to continue to reject and continue lower because again, we're making lower lows and lower highs in the overall time frames for the 4 hour and the daily. It doesn't make a tremendous amount of sense for the prices to break out right now. But this is a good sign here to be kind of tentatively above the cloud, right? But again, it's not super definitive. Yes, we are converting above the baseline here, which is nice. It tells us we got a little bit of momentum from this 1 hour, but it's really not all that telling just yet. We can also see the lagging span is kind of close to the price action here, and I don't really like that either. So to me personally at this point, I don't think it's a super strong confirming factor. You could argue the fact that we are making higher highs and higher lows on the smaller time frames, and that's positive, but I don't think we're there yet. Okay, so to me, Bitcoin being right where it's at, I think we're in a position right now where the price action will probably come lower here for Bitcoin, and inevitably we'll see the same thing from BCH. Okay, so just be very careful and cautious here. BCH will break out if Bitcoin can stabilize and excel past 30,500. There's probably no doubt about that. But are we going to continue to get rejection on that 1 week open for Bitcoin? I feel like we are. You know, it's right at that point there. We have had a lot of trouble with that level. So again, be sure to watch my Bitcoin videos if you're not sure what I'm talking about here. I cover all that in detail. There's a lot of back-end data too on Bitcoin, kind of give us the indication that we're more short biased than long biased. So again, that to me leads me to believe that even though this should break out soon, it's probably due for one more correction down, a liquidity hunt there at about 250, 252. I'm just going to go ahead and add an alert there and reevaluate when the price comes back down if it were to. If it doesn't, no big deal. We miss out on an opportunity. But hey, missed opportunities are happening all the time. You got to realize that FOMO is a real thing, and it's best not to buy into it. So yeah, this could be a perfect long position, but it really has no reason to at this point. There's not a lot of defining factors telling us it's going to shoot to the moon. I think we're more likely to decrease here in the near future first. Again, most of this is depending on Bitcoin doing what it's supposed to do, which is go down here to retest that 28 to 29,000 range. All right. So again, different strokes for different folks. So if you learned something here today, of course, do me a solid. Go ahead and comment down below. Let me know how long you've been watching the channel for. I'd love to hear that. Feedback is really awesome. And of course, more importantly, if you're not currently following our Twitter or our Telegram groups, link down below. We got a lot of cool and good technical fundamental things coming out pretty consistently, so you know specifically what's going on. Just helping us grow that would be great. And then obviously make sure you take advantage of this exclusive offer. It's only available till the 31st. Link down below for the BingX exchange benefit there. Be sure to check that out. Once again, thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you have a great rest of the day. We'll see you in tomorrow's video. Take care.